Hi everybody, welcome to our Wednesday night craft class. I'm Jennifer Tryon. I'm glad you're here. We'll give a few minutes for everyone to join in and we'll get going. But in the meantime, do you see my new setup? Everything's the same, I just sort of rearranged the furniture today. Mostly to give my sister Sarah a little bit more space when she's sort of trying to get around and get some good angles here. Plus, you know, kind of felt squished against the quilt wall. So anyway, this is gonna, I'll see how this goes. Let me know what you think. Because if it, I don't know, if it's not resonating, then maybe I should put it back. But for the next couple weeks, it'll be like this, and we'll see how it goes. I tend to like use things from this side of the room more. Like I'd be over there and I'd be like, I need some glue, or I need that. And now it's just like within arm's reach instead of, well, I mean, it's only 3 extra steps. But hey.
It makes a difference.
It's live. It's live TV. Every second counts, right? When we're trying to not really go past 9 o'clock. So, are people joining in?
Yeah, people are joining. Some people are loving the new setup.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. Tell me what you think, because, I mean, it's funny what you can do with your space, right? Like, we grew up in a house where my mom always changed around the furniture. And, like, my sister's going,
always,
yeah, always changed around the furniture. And it always felt like
a new place.
Yeah, it always felt like you were somewhere new, or that you got something new. But it was just like your same old stuff, just sort of rearranged in a new way. So I kind of feel like that about the craft room tonight. Like, it feels like... Ooh.
And it's very tidy in here. You obviously cleaned up a lot, too.
I mean,
it's
you
good.
should have seen what I swept out from under here. Like, it was not pretty. Like, there's a whole garbage bag, like...
Question is, did you shove it all in a bin and
it.
plan on reusing it? Because sometimes you do that.
I know. Honestly, I'm like one step away from being an actual hoarder.
I don't know if people have checked out Jen's video about her cleaning and organizing her craft room, but I make a cameo appearance as well as a friend of hers, Stephanie, and we help her clean it. And I think there's some battles that go on between, oh, please, can we keep this piece for a scrap? I know I could reuse it.
I always want to keep everything. And, you know, it's because you're like, oh, I know next week I'm going to be searching for a scrap of paper. So why am I, you know, throwing this out right now when I know next week I'm going to be looking for it? Okay, so how are we doing tonight, everybody? I'm going to just start coloring here because I'm going to do a bit of coloring tonight. This is a new Giving Thanks stamp set. I know we've passed Thanksgiving in Canada, but it's coming up in the U.S. When is it? What's the actual American Thanksgiving Day?
Thursday. Next week.
Next Thursday, okay.
I'm going to be away.
You're going to be in the U.S.?
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. You'll be able to, like, give thanks in the U.S. on U.S. Thanksgiving.
It's true.
Yeah, Canadian Thanksgiving for the Americans on board here is much earlier. It's like at the beginning of second weekend of October.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're already thankful.
Deborah's asking what the funniest thing you've ever found in your craft room while cleaning up is. Probably some kind of half-eaten food.
Yeah, like I once found like a whole pumpkin.
That is funny. That is funny.
Like it was not like a full pumpkin. It was like shriveled and like
did it
liquefied.
Oh, it did. Oh no.
Like because obviously I'd brought in like a pumpkin in and just moved it at some point and totally forgot.
Oh my gosh, that is funny. You say it's not funny, but that's probably exactly what Deborah was looking for.
Yeah, it's totally disgusting. And just right on that note, speaking of like disgusting things, this week...
Can I just say Violet's just messaged saying, "Hi mommy, it's Violet," under...
Hi Violet, are you watching when you're supposed to be in bed?
Hi Violet!
You're so lucky. Daddy's letting my daughter obviously watch from upstairs when she's supposed to be sleeping. Pretty good. Just a few minutes and then it's bedtime. Hey, she's not here. Anyway. So before I totally get going on this card here, anyone weighing in yet with any questions or anything like that?
Nope, not really.
Okay. So I'm just kind of putting some color down here, but what I wanted to actually do was give some serious props to Annie Williams. Annie Williams is on the Crafters Companion design team. And what that means is when we go like to HSN or, you know, have blogs and tutorials, the design team, you know, gets the products a little bit ahead of time and they just make things out of them. And you know what? That's when you're like trolling Pinterest or Instagram and you're looking for like inspiration. Oftentimes you're seeing companies' design teams posting things with the products that they use. And Annie is part of the Crafter's Companion design team. And so I'm often trolling for inspiration. And I don't know, put your hand up if you're like this, because I'm like this, where I want to make something. I've clearly bought all the stuff to make it, but like, what do I do? Like, what should I make? And you kind of get stuck. And I kind of experience that a lot. And the best advice I can give you is to copy someone else. Is to copy someone else. And I'm not saying like plagiarize their idea, but honestly, all of those bloggers and people are out there to inspire you. So this week was totally inspired by Annie's amazing card. And, you know, all of us card makers and crafters are, I don't want to say guilty of this, because there's nothing wrong with doing this. I really don't believe there's anything wrong with looking at what someone else made and thinking, I want to make that. Because inevitably what happens is you end up finding some like great way to use their inspiration as a jumping off point, and then you find your own style along the way. It always ends up taking some kind of a turn. And so if you're feeling creative, but also sort of like, but I don't know what to make, I'd suggest finding something that you like. So for example, this is Annie's card this week. Isn't this so nice? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Didn't she do just such a great job? It's like so simple with the yellow and the shading, and you know, there's a little bit of embossed background and just like a little bow. I'm like, yeah, I was planning to use the same stamp set this week. I was totally inspired by her. She did such a great job that I'm going to use that card as my jumping off point this week. And I'm going to encourage you guys. I mean, Crafter's Companion's got a great blog. Lots of places have great blogs that you can go and literally see a lot of the items that you already have in your craft room used in a way that you might not have thought about using them. And so I'm going to say that's a great way to kind of get a jumping off point. Anybody else do that?
Oh, someone just said Annie's actually on.
Is Annie on?
Well, someone said that unless it's a different Annie.
Well,
but yeah.
Well done, Annie. I'm totally using your card as a jumping off point. I love, love, love the yellows. So I am totally copying you today. And I'm going to encourage everybody watching, if Annie's on here, put your blog or your Instagram or your Facebook up here so people can take a look at all the great stuff that you do. Because this card is really amazing, and yeah, it's the inspiration for tonight. So,
and I think you're totally right, because when I went to my girls' weekend where we brought the craft supplies, I didn't have any samples of anything, and no one was a crafter, so they'd never made a card like that before. Right. It was there was a bit of a struggle for probably like the first half hour of everybody just being overwhelmed by all the different options.
Well, it's easy to be overwhelmed because it's like there's so many supplies, and there's so many, like, you know, you think that there's rules, but there's really not rules. You just have to kind of get in there, right? Sorry, go ahead, keep going.
No, that's it.
Yeah,
I'm just saying I think you're right.
So what I'm doing here is with the Spectrum Noir, which are alcohol-based markers, I'm doing kind of a 3-color blend, using Annie's card as a bit of inspiration. I noticed that she has some sort of darker middles, so I'm grabbing some darker and some lighter and blending together, kind of where I think there might be like some nooks and crannies. So see how this, like, you know, that leaf might have left a shadow, and this leaf might have left a shadow. And then I'm going to go back in with my lighter or my medium color and just blend that right out so I don't have such a harsh line. And that's what I see Annie really did so well. And, you know, when you see cards that really catch your eye, try to take a minute and see, okay, can I tell what technique, you know, the designer or the whoever did it, the blogger, Can I tell what technique they might have used? And usually you can if you kind of think about it. So see, I'm going in here with a darker color, and then I'm going to go back in with my lighter shade.
So you started with your base shade?
Started with my base shade, and this is still the base shade. But see if I'm just going over with that lighter, how it just blends out so beautifully there.
Annie just posted her blog and said, thanks for the shout outs.
Good girl, Annie. Thanks for putting that up. That's, that's great. I hope everyone will go and check her out because that was a really nice, honestly, the stamp set's beautiful. This stamp set, by the way, it's not even out yet.
I was going to say, do you have the package?
No, because it's not even out yet. This stamp set is actually going to be a free gift with purchase in the next, like, they're having like some sort of like Thanksgiving,
Black Friday.
Well, no, not a Black Friday. Like it's like a giving thanks week.
Okay.
Where Crafters Companion's like giving thanks and encouraging people to give thanks because it's Thanksgiving, and so there's a lot of free stuff coming out.
Do you know? Somebody asked earlier. Do you know anything about any Black Friday or Cyber Monday deals that might be happening?
I think there's going to be a Gemini bundle through AC Moore. Like that's a craft store that's in parts of the U.S. Because I heard someone say that they'd ordered a bunch of them and there was like an exclusive bundle through AC Moore. So that's something to watch out for. There will be. There always is. I don't know what they are, but I do know that there's going to be a lot of like free gift with purchase. So if you're going to stock up for Christmas and stuff like that, I think maybe it's like if you spend a certain amount, you're going to get a free gift. And I think this stamp set is one of them, but I could be wrong. I'm always wrong about these things. So if anyone's on that really knows what the deal is, pipe up.
So do you want to let them know what paper you're using and what ink and everything like that?
Yeah, so the paper is the Spectrum Noir, like the Nina, the Spectrum Noir Ultra Smooth cardstock. And I'll post a link at the end for where you can get it and what exactly it is, just in case anyone's wondering. And I'm using the Spectrum Noir alcohol markers. Now, this wreath would look amazing done in watercolor. Like, you could use your watercolor pencils. But it's been a while since I just used the plain old blender. Sometimes, like, we forget because we get so much other good stuff. You know, these really are kind of the best of the best. And we're going to give away a bunch of Spectrum Noir markers tonight. So if you see on Facebook underneath this live post, and I'm going to post it on my page too, but if you see the graphic with the Spectrum Noir pens, that's where you can leave a comment and you will be entered to win some extra pens. Which, who could not use some more colors, right? So
you said the paper. Did you say the ink? Did I miss that? The ink that you
stamped with? Well, so these stamps aren't out yet. So they're literally...
The ink stamp.
Yeah. Let me just... Okay. They're literally not out yet. So what happened was, because I couldn't really wait to get my hands on it, I saw a digital image go across like some emails, and I just went ahead and printed it out.
Oh, okay. So even that ink, because you have the inkjet, don't you?
Well, so if you're going to print out digital stamps, which is essentially what I've done here, you want to print on a laser printer.
Oh, okay.
So I printed these on a very inexpensive laser printer. Like I bought it like off Craigslist.
And could you ever would you ever use your watercolors? Like you showed your watercolors a few weeks ago. Is that something that you could use on that, or would you stick to the alcohol-based markers?
Yeah, I think I'd stick to the alcohol-based markers. I have not tried laser printing without. Well, to be fair, I tried this afternoon to put the alcohol cardstock through my laser printer, but it wouldn't take it.
Oh, okay.
It was just too heavy.
And does the ink go through this cardstock or through this paper?
Yeah, it goes through. It bleeds through.
It's
fine, but it's supposed to do that.
Okay.
Like that doesn't mean that the markers are bad or that the paper is bad. It's because this paper absorbs right down to the very, very bottom layer, and then it keeps drawing it down. That's you know, you don't need to if you buy this paper to call in and be like, my paper's defective. No. It's supposed to do this. That's okay. It's totally supposed to do this.
So there's been a lot of questions today, since you've been coloring and stuff, about the organization of your craft room and how you, well, everyone loves it. They think it looks great.
Aww.
But they want to know what you use to organize your craft room. They wanted to know how you organize or store your markers.
Okay.
And I can show the casing for the markers, but I don't know.
I actually have I'll post a link. Okay, so a couple things. These I just pull over here. I normally keep them over here. And this entire wall system, I'll give you a little tour here, but on my YouTube channel, which is Tryon a Homemade Life, there I do have a craft room tour. And I have a craft room makeover video. So if you wanted to go and subscribe to me on YouTube, you'll see every time I post one of those videos. Anyway, but you can go and check that out after if you want. But this whole organization system, see how this is all stamp pads and more marker storage here. And this is all distress ink and distress markers. And, you know, it's all custom made specifically for craft supplies. And it's from stampandstorage.com. I'll post a link because it's hard to remember, like, you know.
And those shelves, those big ones, didn't you get those from like a garage sale or something like that? Or
I got
Habitat for Humanity?
Yeah, Habitat for Humanity Restore. This used to be some like really rich person's like television unit, built-ins in their basement. And they weren't squished together like that. They were really pulled far apart. And there was another tower, like... Wait, do I have one tower?
No, the other tower's in the spare room.
Then there's another tower in there that just didn't fit in here. And literally, I just painted them with a chalk paint. And I got the entire built-in unit for like less than $200.
That's crazy.
And I just painted it myself.
And then you put those fabric.
So what's funny is these, because it was a TV unit, these are cloth. Like, they're soft because that's where the speakers were for like their stereo system. Oh God, don't look in here. Okay, go ahead. It's jammed. Look at all my serger thread. Anyway, but you can see it was soft and it was ugly. Like, it was totally ugly. The whole unit was like it was like this color yellow. And this was the cloth. And I thought, okay, well, I'll just quilt something and put it over top and yeah. And so then I put the matching fabric from the same line in just some like embroidery hoops and yeah. Go watch the video after this. You'll see a nice little tour. But if you have any other storage questions, shout them out. Sarah can ask me, and I'll definitely I'll post links to where you can take a look at everything. What's kind of great about stampandstorage.com, that's where I got all the paper trays and stuff, is that you can get them in like, I don't know, whatever size of cube it is. Or you can get them specifically to fit the IKEA units, which I kind of thought was genius of that company to do. Because IKEA shelving, like the stuff I've got, like the fabric there, those little, like the cube storage units, they're so popular in craft rooms because they're so inexpensive and they hold so much stuff that, yeah, they made them so that they could easily fit into that storage system. So you can specifically request if you want your unit to fit the IKEA system, which I kind of thought was genius. Okay, so I'm just putting down like a really light green here, and I'm going to go in with a darker and start building up the color.
Yvonne's asking, how do you store your embellishment?
Oh gosh, and basically just a big heap.
What's embellishment?
Like if you're scrapbooking, you have like stickers or like enamel dots,
those kinds of things.
Yeah, like honestly, that's what's all in those drawers. And I basically have to go like deep sea diving every time I'm trying to find one of them.
Remember when all your stamps were in those drawers?
I know.
That was a nightmare.
And now my stamps I keep in all of those binders in like those plastic sheets, which is only an okay system. I could probably come up with something better than that, but I don't have
an improvement from the first one.
Yeah, yeah. So you can see I added sort of my medium shade here. Now I'm going to find an even darker green, but I also want it to be sort of olive toned. So I don't want this to be too bright.
Sharon's saying that she's glad you're showing how to blend. She doesn't usually have very good results. Do you have any tips of what maybe might be happening?
Okay, so yes, there's a formula a 3-blend formula. And that's to lay down, so you see these markers right here. You're going to lay down your lightest color. So you can see LG2, LG3, and then I've just gone way off the map on a CG4 here. But basically, don't even worry about what the numbers are. Take a scratch sheet at the side, put it down.
So you need a significant difference between all 3 shades.
As long as you've got like a difference between 3 shades, let's say. And there are far more technical ways to do this. Like, you can get certified to be like Spectrum Noir certified, so that you are, you know, considered like a blending expert. I'm not certified at all. Certifiable, but not certified. But I do know that if you put down your lightest shade sort of everywhere, that saturates things enough so that once you go in with your medium shade, and then your darkest shade, and once you've laid down your darkest shade, take your lightest shade again and go over everything. And then that's, the alcohol is what allows it to move all around. And then you see that nice blend you got? Mm-hmm. Now on Annie's card, I feel like her leaves were even a little darker. Her leaves were maybe, or even her flowers were a little more rustic. But that's what ends up happening. When you use someone else as your jumping off point, inevitably, it doesn't turn out an exact carbon copy. Okay, so there's my lightest shade. Now I'm going to go in with my medium. And you see there is quite a difference there between the two. See where, now I'm going to go with my dark right in the nook. And this looks really bad, like you can really see the difference between. And then it's that finishing, it's the finishing with the lightest shade over top of everything that really lets, that's where the magic happens there. See that blend now? Can you see it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
I kind of thought you weren't talking to me.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I just need to know. Can you see it?
I was actually thinking sometimes I panic when I start to recolor with my light shade again because it's a little wet, so it's a little darker. Mm-hmm. But I usually have to just simmer down and wait a moment and it'll dry and look layered again, or like, you know, shaded again.
Yeah, like look, this looks like 1, 2, 3. There looks like 3 very distinct colors there. But go in with your light shade and go over top of your lightest again. And it will darken up your lightest, but it'll also provide this blend that will still make for this sort of seamless, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of chatter going on about how with the Spectrum Noir alcohol markers, when people go to take the lids off, often it'll rip the whole gray section off.
Oh, that's totally happened to me too.
And I noticed that when I was using them the other day, and sometimes I had to just kind of slide my nail in between.
Sometimes that's what I do.
Is lid oh, sorry, my finger just went in front of the camera.
Totally, I've done that before too. Is put my or giving it a little like wiggle like that first, because that has happened to me too.
But it stopped it from spraying everywhere, like the ink yanking out, because that was the problem that was happening.
Well, I've never had it where the ink actually spilled. I just saw the barrel inside.
Yes. It's a good question, Lori. Is it better to store markers standing up or on their sides?
On their sides, because these are dual tip markers, so you want the ink to be available to either side whenever you need it. And storing it flat like this, you know, prevents it from gravity doing any sort of real number on it. So yeah, as lovely as it is to put markers in a jar, and even pencil crayons are supposed to be stored on their sides too. As nice as it is to store them in a jar because they look nice on display. Just these trays are so, I won't say cheap, inexpensive. You can literally pick those up and you don't even see the tray at all, really. They come in black or in that sort of clear color, which is kind of blue.
Yeah. So you're making a card, is that correct, tonight? Yeah, after you're done coloring?
Yeah, I'm gonna make a card. Last week's sewing episode was long. So many people stayed with us to the end, but I do not blame you if you had to go to sleep or whatever. But I gotta give a shout out. Okay, I gotta find her. Because you know what? Someone emailed me they messaged me today with a picture. I'm going to show it just a minute if I can find it here. Oh, sorry.
Well, while you're doing that, sparkle pens with tips up?
No, on their sides.
On their sides as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you're safe just to store everything on its side. For sure. Yeah, other than like actual pencils and scissors and stuff like that, I keep everything on its side.
And you can use the Spectrum Noir with the Copics, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so.
Because it's all alcohol markers. I mean, it's the same kind of, it's the exact same idea. It's blendable. You can also blend these with your colorista markers. It's all alcohol ink.
So any alcohol
based. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Spectrum Noir, I don't know if you know about this, but Spectrum Noir is coming out with a brand new line of markers called Illustrator pens. And I haven't seen them yet, but I heard that they're coming. And it's a brush tip nib. So much more like sort of, yeah, it's a brush tip nib. And so I'm really excited to get to play with those and try them out and see what the deal is, because that's pretty exciting. And there's going to be lots of new colors, and they'll be totally blendable because it's alcohol. But they're really sort of next level artist markers.
Are they refillable, or are these all, once they run out, you got to replace?
I don't know. Like, I don't really know that much about them because they're not even out. Like, there's no samples of them yet. Like, it's all, as soon as I learn about them, I'll let you guys know, because I'm dying to see them too. And see, I'm just putting some extra dark shading and blending that with my lighter color.
Sam is saying that they are refillable.
Oh, then they probably are.
Great.
They probably are. I mean, that would be ideal, right? I mean, these are refillable too.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, the colorista ones are not refillable, but these are refillable. A lot of alcohol pens are refillable because artists use them, like, and designers use them all the time, and they want to be able to make sure they're getting, you buy the marker once and just keep refilling it. So you can see I can just sort of literally keep touching up around here like all day long, because it's just going to shade and highlight and shade and highlight more and more and more. Like,
it looks really good.
Yeah, you can blend it all you want. I'm going to do a little bit more on the leaves here. So how's everyone doing tonight? What's been going on with... Oh yeah, I want to find that... Her name was Michelle.
Oh, I can't move my hand because I don't have the stand for the camera, but there's a leaf tip that needs to be colored at the top. Somebody just...
Oh, here, yeah.
Mentioned.
Good call. Wow, you guys are good. Wow, can't get anything past you guys.
I'm holding the camera slightly different because I don't have the stand I usually hold. So if it looks a little shaky, I'm
normally
sorry.
Sarah has like a little tripod, but you guys don't understand like the mad dash right before like we go on. Like, I'm not joking you. Okay, Sarah literally arrives here at like 7:58.
Like, oh my gosh, my finger just locked in one spot.
Like,
sorry.
Sarah arrives here from home at like 7:58 while I'm like frantically like
I get
brushing.
home at 6:30. I have to eat dinner and then drive 40 minutes to get here.
I know. I'm just sort of painting a picture of like, and then I'm like trying to put any of it, like literally, I usually have just gotten dressed for the day.
No, sometimes she's not dressed yet.
Yeah. So I'm like, hold on, oh my god, no, get out of my way. and then it's like, hi everybody. It's color. Yeah, let's be happy. It's not total chaos here, I swear. Yeah, like it is kind of chaotic in the 20 minutes leading up to these lives going on. And yeah. So anyway, in that flurry, I was like, where's the little tripod? And we were like, oh well. And then we were like, 3, 2, 1, go. So that was that. No tripod tonight. All right, I'll give the blending a rest for now. I think it's looking good.
I think it looks really good. I'm just going to pull this a little closer so I can get a straight down shot.
And I'll put the lids on the markers. And I'm going to log in here and see, because I haven't really been on to see who's here and what's going on. And But I wanted to say that I think her name's Michelle. Oh gosh, I should just look it up. I should have had it ready. I looked it up earlier today too. Anyway, she emailed me a picture of a little pencil bag that she made.
From inspiration?
I know. I was like, I can't believe I actually inspired someone to do something, and they did it.
That's amazing.
I know. And she said that she was gonna make, she said like Christmas presents, like, cause it took her a little bit, like it did me too, to figure out the pattern and get it going. But she made like the greatest little pouch, and once you make one, you can totally assembly line them. You know what I mean? And those are great little. Everybody can use a little pouch like that for Christmas.
Do you have a favorite ink that you use with your alcohol-based markers?
Yeah, you always want to stamp with Memento Tuxedo Black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Archival? I think somebody just wrote
Yeah,
that.
you can use the Ranger Archival, but Memento Tuxedo Black is my favorite. Although I have a boatload of Archival in there. Actually, I was just about to go and buy a new Memento because I'm out. I should just use that. Good call. There, you just saved me $20 or however much it is. So I don't have a die for this, so I'm gonna fussy cut it. And I know some people...
Do you know if they'll have a die cut for it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think so. I didn't see one anyway. That doesn't mean that there wouldn't be at another time, but this is a pretty, like, big image, so I think it's just gonna be a stamp set. Yeah. But I'm just sort of getting the shape here, and then this is gonna make the front of my card. I'm gonna...
Jamie says, see how much inspiration you share? I love it.
Aw, that's so nice. Sometimes you, like, I mean, half the time we watch these things, like, I watch YouTube videos constantly, and I hardly ever make what I watch. You know what I mean?
So, well, it's like cooking shows. I never make what I watch on cooking shows.
I know, but you want to know what happens when you watch cooking shows and these little shows is that it sinks in. It's like you're getting a sort of craft education while being entertained by our witty banner.
For sure. I'm sure if my husband watched more cooking shows, he'd be a better cook. No?
Hey, I've also watched a lot of diet shows and weight loss shows.
Makeover shows.
And makeover shows.
Cleaning your house and like, organizing
shows. And not actually... Well, I shouldn't say that, because I do know what to do. I just don't do it. Right? That's what we all suffer from, right? Like,
yeah.
I know how to not eat... No, I don't... Yeah, I know I shouldn't eat chips. But, I mean, I still do. Nightly.
What about the ring pop that's sitting here? I'm going to show everyone. I noticed earlier, throwback.
You're like eyeing that ring
pop. I know. Like,
it was my daughter's 8th birthday, and so the ring pops are from the party. Honestly, I don't even know why I buy that stuff, because it just distracts from everything else going on. Like, can I have a ring pop? Can I have another ring pop? Like, hey. Okay, get this funny story. This is a perfect, like, this is life, okay? Yesterday morning, I stepped on a full cupcake. Like, in my pajamas, in my bare feet.
And you weren't walking on the counter. No.
Squash. And all 3 kids are at the counter. And I was like, what? And I don't even know when we had cupcakes, okay?
No, because you didn't have them at the birthday.
No! And so I was like, what is this? And it was a cupcake. And this is what the response was. Can I have a cupcake?
Oh, good Lord.
So
was it near the fridge? Because sometimes you freeze cupcakes and the kids like to eat them frozen.
It was like near their chair, near their stools.
Still, I guess still could have come out of the freezer and they kicked it, but...
It was like, the icing was iced. It was like between my toes, like the icing. Honestly, this place. It's like...
Sharon, yeah, we can see your comments. They're coming up.
What
she just asked if we could see your comments.
Oh, okay. Hi, Sharon. Hi, everybody. I didn't really say hi to anyone tonight because I haven't got it up on my
And you know what? The comments are coming up differently tonight than normal, and I can only see 1, maybe 2 at a time. And normally I can see like 5 at a time. Oh. So sometimes your questions are going by tonight, and I don't even have a chance to get it read before another one's popped up. So I'm still trying to do my best, but we'll see if maybe next week I can get it reorganized on the screen.
Okay, so I just sort of fussy cut this out. Here's one more little spot. And the thing with this, fussy cutting always makes you appreciate your dies and makes you like instantly want to buy more dies because you think, why does anyone ever do this? There's some people who prefer doing this, like they find it like therapeutic or like fun.
I actually don't mind cutting, but there's a limit. Like when I was making my wedding cards, I think I've like damaged a nerve in my thumb because now if I cut more than 2 things, the nerve like acts up.
I know, right?
And it was all from those wedding invites.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'm just taking a plain piece of cardstock here because I noticed in Annie's beautiful card that she used some embossing in the background. So I'm going to use just a standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card here. So I want my background, so you can see I've cut it at 4 1/4 and I've scored it at 5 1/2. And so I'm going to make this say like 4 by 5 1/4. Is that right, math? 4 by 4 1/4. If Amanda's on, maybe she can figure that out.
She is on, actually.
Okay. Okay, so 4.
Isabel says wine's more therapeutic and fun than fussy cutting.
Yeah, no kidding. We should. Would that be wrong?
I don't know.
Would that be wrong?
I don't know if that's legal. Must be.
Huh. There might be some sort of like policy about not doing that, but that just.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That is not a bad idea.
The camera person could drink off camera, I guess.
Okay, I totally cut that wrong. Now see, honestly, look at I just totally thought I was cutting that right measurement, and this is what I got.
Can you just trim it?
Yeah, but like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I ever measure anything? Like, I have no ability.
No, you don't, really.
I know. Like, seriously.
It's not just measurements. All your math skills are low.
I know. Thank you. Thank you. And it is true. I have to admit it.
It's an ongoing joke, really, within this family.
But it's like not even funny. People, I can't do basic math or basic measurements. It's really, a sad reflection on our school system. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Let's blame the school system. All right, so if this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, then I want to do 5 1/4.
Annie says blame it on the trimmer.
Yeah, all the lines are off on this, for sure. I'm going to call the company. There we go. That's at least decent.
So what's going to happen with the center of this wreath? I'm real eager to know.
Well,
it's a surprise.
Yeah.
I always jump ahead. Sorry, I just always jump ahead.
She's like, okay, like, can we just get to it? Like, obviously you're like
bored
by now.
No, I'm not bored. I'm just excited to know what the plan is.
Yeah.
I hate being in suspense.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna emboss. So I'm using my embossing folder, which means I just need my 2 bottom, base, and top plate. And I love embossing on white because that sort of tone-on-tone texture is so effective. Like it just adds a whole other element without it being too flashy. And that's what I loved about Annie's card, was that it was a total less is more, and I love that sort of less is more look. And look at that great wood grain. And a wood grain, isn't that good?
Yeah, that looks good.
It's so deep.
It is actually really deep.
I know. See, now look, now my paper's probably like 3 3/4 or something. Okay. I gotta get a tape runner here. Look I can just reach right over. I only have to take 1 step because of my new system. So,
we have a question from Deanne. What is that machine?
What? Sorry, what? Okay, I'll turn it around.
No, lots of people don't know what that machine is. Yeah.
This is the Gemini, and it is an electronic embosser and die cutter, which means if you have thin metal dies, or if you get some to match your stamps, it will cut out all of those shapes. Or you can put in all of these different kind of embossing folders and get all of these amazing textures. And normally the machines like crank, but this one is all electronic and it's super strong. Like it's, you know, you're not relying on your own like weak muscles.
Deanne, don't worry about not knowing what it was. She said, sorry, I live in a cave. Lots of people don't know what it is. It's just that Jen loves it so much that she's like in shock. She thinks everybody knows as much as she does about crafts.
Well, yeah, sometimes I think like, what do you mean you don't live and breathe like all craft supplies? Like you're a totally normal person then. Yeah, no. And this machine is quite new. Like it only came out this year, so that's okay.
Oh, no wonder it's so hard to find. I didn't know it was so new.
Yeah, it's not even in all the stores yet.
Oh, I thought they just did that to make it exclusive.
Well, yeah, HSN, because it was on HSN, I think they had some sort of exclusive. Okay, so see how this is sort of white on white, kind of looking good. So I'm going to, because I printed out these stamps on my laser printer, I'm going to sort of make a little like flag here if I can. And if it doesn't turn out, then I'm just going to leave it on its own. But actually, before I even get to that step, since I'm on... Oh, crap. All right, I'm going to peel this off because I wanted to... I wanted to distress the edges of this. Just for like a little extra. So this is Distress ink, and I'm just using an ink blending tool. And I've got my craft mat down here so I can, you know, bump off. And I can put my tape, like, nothing really bugs a craft mat. Like, and I'm just going to put a little distress on the edges here. I could even like lift this up so that I get even less. It literally is just the edges when you do that. I like that more.
I am honestly so bad at using the distress ink.
Really?
Yeah, like I'm just so bad at it. It doesn't matter. Every time I've used it, it always turns out blotchy, even though
You're using too much.
I know, but even though I blot off, and then it always ends up looking like a circle, even though I'm trying to bring it in from the side and on. Yeah, okay. I have not mastered it. I'm still going to keep trying, because I do actually really like the way it looks, but...
And we are related by blood.
Yeah. I don't know. I have red hair, you have blonde. I'm not entirely sure.
I know. Now, see, I just did that too, but, you know... Yeah, less is more with Distress ink, and you're always... This is true for almost any, like, coloring technique or, like building up the color or layering the color is always more advisable than going in strong. Do you know what I mean? And it gets hard when you don't really know that it's going to be as impactful as it is, but it's a good rule of thumb. Okay, so I just distressed the edges there, which... You know, it doesn't do a lot, but it just helps lift it from the background ever so much. You know what I mean?
It brings it together.
Yeah. And so the other thing I'm going to do is, because I fussy cut this, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a black or a dark gray, because I actually don't even think I have a black. Can you believe all these markers? I don't have a black Spectrum Noir marker. I'm sure I did at one point, but it's just lost. But
Debbie says she uses chalk ink to distress edges. Have you ever used that?
No. But you see what I'm doing here? Is I'm taking the black marker and I'm going all around my cut. Because look at the difference between like the edge here and the edge like over here. Can you tell? Mm-hmm. It just finishes it off. It's just like a little technique that you can do that is going to make it look a little less homemade, a little less cut out, especially when you're not using a dye.
And always black? You wouldn't use like say the yellow or something like that?
No, I would always use black. Okay. Because the black is what's is creating the lines in the flowers anyway. I mean, you could use yellow. I mean, it's not like we're curing cancer here and you have to, you know, follow the prescription. You can do whatever you want. But I would recommend, I always use black, and that's why. Just because it's the lines of the...
Everybody seems to like this tip.
Oh, good. Well, there you go.
You've achieved something.
Yeah. Quick, let's all go watch weight loss shows while we're learning so much.
While we're
in absorbent mode. Let's go. I know.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, I'm just gonna get in this little nook here without writing on my little flower here that's off dangling in the wind. And if you go a little heavy, oh well, sorry. Not the end of the world. You can always like trim around again and then go back over.
I think if you're coming up from the back, you're probably always safe to not be going too heavy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that looks nice.
Good. Okay, so I'm gonna just cut out my giving thanks.
So Bev wants to know, if you did want to cut out the circle of the flower, how would you go about it? Just
on the inside?
Just snip into the center, or?
I would probably tape it down to a self-adhesive mat, like the sewing mat, or like, you know what I mean, a self-healing mat.
Yeah.
And I would use a craft knife. But I can almost guarantee you will regret doing that.
What about cutting in and then fussy cutting around it? Is that just never a good idea? No, I'm not saying do it.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
I mean, if you have small enough scissors, you probably could do that, but you're also going to bend it a bit more.
At your own risk is what you're saying?
Yeah, I would just do it at your own risk. The craft knife would be the way I would go about it first.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to get like anything with an edge when you use a craft knife.
Like a smooth flow.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to do that.
So what are you doing now? What are you cutting out now?
So I've got this little giving thanks sentiment that comes with the stamp set.
Mm-hmm. Did you say the name of the stamp set, like the brand of it?
Or? It's Crafter's Companion, and it's called Giving Thanks, and it's going to be available next week. I'm pretty sure it's a free gift.
Oh yes, you did say that part. Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
I think so.
I just remembered somebody asking what the brand was, and
the brand is Crafter's Companion. I'll put a link at the end of this to all the supplies that I use in this week's show, and then if anyone's interested in seeing, like, I'll put a couple places. Like, I usually try to look on Amazon and on a couple different stamping sites so people can maybe find a deal. I also like going and seeing if I can find a deal. I'll try to post it. I usually post it like within the hour after the show because I'm just in that mode. So, all right, so let's measure this to make sure this is even.
Now, just wondering, because you printed that off of online, can you manipulate those files and put could you have put that sentiment into the wreath before you printed it?
Totally, and I should have.
No,
I totally should have.
I'm not at all suggesting that. I just thought of it.
Yeah, no, I totally thought of that afterwards, and I think that's what Annie did on her card. But yeah, I just didn't think of it at the time, and yeah, you totally can. As long as you're dealing with what's called a vector image, so I would say the middle is about... As long as you're dealing with a vector graphic means you can make it bigger or smaller without changing, like it won't go grainy or anything like that. So that's maybe a little bit more graphic design than anyone wants tonight. But if you're trying to manipulate digital stamps, you definitely want to make sure it's a vector graphic.
Question. Yeah, is there anywhere in Canada to be able to buy stamps or dies? Or is it just like only US?
Is that you asking? Is that people asking?
Somebody asked, yeah.
Okay. So I am going to put up, like, I have been like keeping a bit of a list of an Amazon.ca, because you can totally buy on Amazon.ca. Simon Says Stamp will deliver to Canada.
Do they charge in Canadian dollars though?
They charge in US dollars, but I mean, even if we buy them here, it's going to be more. Mm-hmm. But Simon Says Stamp will deliver to Canada with like pretty moderate shipping. Like they charge basically the same shipping here as they pretty much do there. I think it's like $6.99, which is pretty good. And so I order from them a lot. So a lot of the links that I put up are from there because you can get a lot of supplies from there, and it doesn't take long to get them. It's not some sort of big rigmarole at the border. You know what I mean? Joann's will also ship to Canada, which is a big craft store in the U.S. Okay, don't mess this up. Come on.
Someone's suggesting that you might want to use a, I don't know if that's an O or a 0, centering ruler if you are math challenged to center your sentiment.
So is that an O or a 0?
Someone buy me that for Christmas.
Oh, okay.
will you? So, what should I do here? I'm thinking that I maybe
Richard Bloom would like to know,
hi Rich,
if when you order from the U.S., if you're worried about duties.
Great question, Rich. Rich is my roommate from university, everyone. And I know he is coming on right now, and he's probably laughing and trying to stump me. But
ask her a math question, Rich.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I've been stung by duty big time. But that's what I like about Simon Says Stamp and some of them is that, yeah, there's not a huge duty on it at all. Like, I've never gotten an order from them that I've had to pay at the door, so. I know, Rich, when you order all of your craft supplies this week, that will be something that you really, pay attention to. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to distress the edges of this, too, because I did for the other one. Rich, pay attention. I know you want to know about this. Okay.
Rich says that's why he prefers Amazon.ca.
Yeah. I'm going to post some links after, so everyone who's wondering, like, how can I get some of this cool stuff, I'll try to point you in the right direction. So when you do your edges, make sure you don't just, like, get the whole edge. And this just sort of helps finish off the piece. If there's any little, like, scraggly, like, hairy kind of, from the cut, then putting that little bit of distress ink will help. Okay, so I'm going to use some of this foam tape.
I think that's your favorite thing in the craft room. It might not be your favorite because it doesn't look like, you're making it look fancy right now.
I know.
But
it does look very
you use it all the time.
I know. I do use it all the time. But it's so good because it's super sticky and it gives you, so I'm putting it on and then it's going to, like, lift up.
So much more dimension to your stuff.
And you can just rip it. Like, you don't really need anything fancy. You don't need a holder. It comes in this gigantic roll. It lasts, I've had this for like 4 years, this one roll. You can cut it and it's totally, it's good, this stuff.
So you've posted somewhere where you can get that, right? Because some people are asking.
Yeah.
So where is that they can find that? Where you?
If you go on my Facebook page, which is Tryon a Homemade Life, my name might be linked on this, but if you go to my Facebook page, I know I put it up there because so many people asked me about this tape, but I'll make sure I put it in the supply list tonight too. Okay. So people can find this tape. I know it was like $20 off too, because you get a huge roll of it, and it's not like super cheap, but it was a good deal the last time I looked. Okay, I want to find this in a good spot. Okay, that's good.
Is the tape better to use than pop dots?
Yeah, I think so.
I would think so. I've used the pop dots too.
Yeah, because, I've created sort of, like, lots of people will use craft foam, like, just like that foam that you get at the craft store, like the kids' projects that they use. This sort of creates, like, a real consistent wall. Mm-hmm. So that there's really no place that it's going to indent as long as you put enough,
especially because I'm bad at just, like, pushing the whole thing down, and then I end up denting in the spot where...
And it'll get dented in the mail, too. And sometimes if you don't put enough of this tape on... it will get dented going through the mail if you skimp on it. It is sort of also a reason why so many people use craft foam, because it really provides like a whole.
Is it like a whole sheet craft foam?
Yeah, like kids use craft foam all the time. Like, this is craft foam.
Oh, okay, that's what I kind of.
You know
pictured.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like squishy. Now I could have cut it out, but then you've got to stick it. Sometimes you could find stuff with adhesive, but I like that tape. It's easy and it works as long as you use it right. All right, so I'm just putting this together here. This looks nice, huh?
Oh, I think it looks great. The wood grain. Have you ever used the distress ink on that all the way across?
Yeah.
And does it look good? Like, does it catch in the...
Don't do it, but does it catch in the edges? And
yeah.
Look nice?
Yeah, cool. We can do it. I can emboss another one if you want to take a look. Or
well, it was truly just me asking. No one asked that question. Sorry.
Way to dominate. Way to hijack.
Yeah, sorry. Hopefully someone else was interested in that question.
Yeah, I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
I'm learning too.
It's my sister, so I can totally like give her grief.
Well, I've been giving you grief all night.
All right, so I liked how Annie in her photo, and I probably should have left, space. So I'm gonna, for the second time, lift this up. And I'm gonna put a little twine, because what I don't want is the twine to go on the inside of my card. So I'll lift up my sheet here.
Oh, some people are saying yes. Yes, please do it.
Do it?
Yeah, and this is actually, I don't know if it's the same person, but asked again if you're going to be giving this card away tonight.
Oh, everyone loves it. You know what? Okay, so I said last week that I would give away that pouch, and someone emailed me today, like, did you give away the pouch? And I didn't pick a winner for the pouch because we were looking at the pouch after the show, right?
Yep.
And it's sitting right there.
I still think that if somebody wants it...
It's kind of wonky.
It's a bit wonky, but if somebody wants it, it's...
I know, but, like, you can see, like, on the... It is cute, though, right?
It's so cute. I would totally use it.
But it is... It's totally not perfect, that's for sure. So I kind of feel like I'd be mailing someone something, and they might be like, oh, great job.
Why don't you want twine on the inside of the card?
Well... Because it just is going to be neater if I hide the twine here. See what I mean?
It'll probably lay flat a little bit better too.
Yeah, like I'm just going to just hide it in here. I need a little bit more.
I love twine or wire or something like
burlap,
yeah, anything like that.
Rustic, right?
Yeah, it really ups the ante on the card.
I like it too. I like it too. Okay.
And somebody asked, do you ever do anything on the inside of the card? Because they're like, everyone always shows the outside of the cards, but how do you make the inside look good? Other than maybe taking one of your writing lessons. But
because my writing is always what messes up the inside of my cards.
What I always do, or not always, but often do on the inside of a card is, so I've got a bunch of other stamps that look like this, is that maybe I could color one of these flowers and then fussy cut out just the one. And then I would put it just in the bottom corner. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it ties from the front, but doesn't like make for like a whole other, project on the inside when really whatever sentiment or message you're writing is really the star of that show. I'm going to show you something here about the ultimate. I'm going to see if I can remember how to do it off the top of my head, but it just occurred to me. So I'm really going rogue here, so bear with me.
Okay.
So in the ultimate, which is this machine this little like thing right here, which is, in case anyone's wondering, what is that? It's sort of a lap tray, and it's great for card makers. And this thing right here, these little pegs, okay, oh my gosh, I'm putting myself totally on the spot here, but there's a bow maker, and I'm going to see if I can remember how to make the bow.
Whoa.
I know. I think I should have I'm going to look at the instructions as I go. Because it literally just occurred to me to do this, and like I probably should have. But if you make a bow with this, you literally get it perfect every time. So let me just go to the instructions because okay. Oh yeah. All right, so you put it. Oh, I wonder if I have to. Just a sec.
I'm going to actually come to the other side a bit.
Okay, I'm going to do it with this first. I can take a look. Alright, so you cross it over twice, and then you go under, I believe, middle, and then you tie it in place. And then you get like this perfect bow that lies flat every time.
Oh, nice, because sometimes they don't lie flat.
They never lie flat. They're the worst.
I just kind of thought it was my bad time.
No, and so let me see if I can somehow...
Did you use ribbon on that?
Yeah, you use ribbon, and you can use any size of ribbon. Like, you can use the big mama ribbon.
Cool.
Not just... Yeah, exactly. So I wonder if I could... How am I going to do this?
Sharon just said, I didn't know it had a bow maker on the kit. I have one of those.
Yeah, that's what those little pegs are. Okay, so let's see if I can do
Cross it again.
Like this.
Oh, you want to do it backwards?
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can get it to work that way. And I'm going to pull it off before I...
Tighten it?
Yeah. No, it's not going to work that way.
So is it just because there's the card in the way, or because you tried to do it backwards?
No, it's because I need the, so this is what I'm going to do. Oh, look at this nice mess. Okay. Jeez. Honestly. Oh my god. I like how no one's like under the misapprehension that I do anything perfectly.
I don't know, your stuff like I was just actually gonna say your stuff always turns out really good. So
well,
I don't care about the journey. It's fun,
like,
but it doesn't matter if you mess up.
It does turn out in the end, but God, the process is like you'd think. Anyway, okay. So this is what I'm gonna do. See how I wrap that just like this and it's stuck to the tape? And now this way I can use my nice, perfect bow and totally cheat. I need a glue dot is what I need. Now, do I have any glue dots left? I'll just take one step to measure instead of 3.
Yeah, Cindy said you could make the bow and tuck the ends in around.
Yeah,
if you didn't want it hanging out.
Yeah, totally. That's
but on the big ribbon, if you were using something like that, that would be really good and nice, because it might be too much to have the bows hanging as well.
Aha, glue dots. I knew you were there somewhere. You guys know about glue dots? Glue dots are literally glue dots. And I'm just going to take one. I'm going to put one behind the...
Well, it's kind of gummy.
Yeah, like you can move it. But they're very sticky. And then you can just literally pick it up.
Oh, cool. Where does one buy the Big Mama ribbon?
Oh, yeah.
Any craft store. They're laughing at you saying Big Mama ribbon.
Well, you know what I mean. Like,
yes.
The Big Mama.
That really is. I didn't know it was that big. Holy.
Yeah, like the... See, okay. let's just divert for a minute. So I'm just going to make it a bit wider. There. I think I'll make it even wider still.
Oh,
so
cool. So there's so many different holes.
Yeah, and then you can make like all kinds of different sizes.
So that answers the person's question that asked if you can make different sizes.
Yes, you can!
Don't you have to go wrap around twice?
I did. All right. One.
And then 2. Okay, good.
And then...
Under.
Under?
Under. Well, that's what you did that last time.
1, 2, up. Under. And then tie.
Boy, I'm so excited.
But now you want to, spend a minute fluffing it.
Yeah, obviously you're kind of working it quickly, but... Neat.
Big Mama.
Big Mama for Big Mama.
This will be mine.
Perfect.
These are my jewels.
That's what you should have dressed up for us, Halloween.
I know. The crazy
craft lady.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that was a little like divergence into the bow maker because I thought, oh, I want to put a bow. Oh, I should use a bow maker. So yeah. Just trim.
So we're still here with the card.
Yeah, so here we are, back to the card. The card is pretty much done.
Yeah, it looks really good. I like it.
Well, we have Annie to thank because this is really her card idea. She totally was the inspiration behind this card. And you know what? This week when you are feeling crafty and have all of your great loot that you've spent your hard-earned money on and are kind of wondering, well, what do I make? I'm going to say try to start by choosing something that you like that someone else has done and just try to do the same thing. And I bet you somewhere along the way you divert off and your own, your own bow comes out or your own distress ink technique comes out or something like that. And, you'll have your own, original card in no time. you know, sort of like we did here tonight, although this does look quite a bit like hers.
So,
yeah.
Are you giving anything away?
Yes. So we're giving away a bunch of new colors of Spectrum Noir.
Not all of those colors.
Not
right?
all,
Okay.
not the entire set.
Okay.
But if you go to, there is a photo of a bunch of Spectrum Noir pens just below this live video. So if you go there next and you share it and you like it, then you will be entered to win. And I hope you will go to my Facebook page and like my page. That way, whenever I'm posting any sort of crafty stuff, you'll be up to date. And if you wanted to take a look at my craft room tour, you can try my YouTube channel, which is Tryon a Homemade Life. Okay. Tryon a Homemade Life. Or type in Jennifer Tryon on YouTube, although you might get some of my news stories by doing that. And just quickly before we go, I will leave you with a little distress ink technique. So start off, and it'll literally just pick up.
Whoa. That looks great.
So this would look even better on craft cardstock with this color, you know what I mean? Like on a craft color.
Or if you did a gray and it was like a birch.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Cool.
But it's a really fun technique. So, you know, you could do this if you had embossing stars or clouds or, you know, whatever it is, and see how you can put like a little bit heavier on the distress in some parts and then really fade it out in others. Using distress ink over your embossing is such a fun way to get a bit more out of your embossing. Now, see, that's the kind of thing that you complain about doing.
Yes.
Yeah. So just work it in.
Well, and honestly, that embossing is a little bit forgiving in comparison to if it was just a flat surface and it had a circle, right?
For sure. But yeah, we've all done that. But try to stay in a circular motion as much as you can.
Can you do the distressing on either side, or like is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's pop on.
And you know
the
what
opposite.
Some people do too is they take their distress ink and they go like this.
Oh. Whoa. Some people are so smart.
Now take your page. Now be careful here. You don't want it to move once it's down. And now run it through. We're diverting here. Sorry, guys.
No, well, you showed how that distressing looks.
Sometimes you can put a little spritz of water, but we'll see how it turns out. Distressing really does well activating in water.
Oh.
And there you get the opposite effect, where it goes inside the grain instead of outside the grain.
That's cool.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like you're
effect.
using all the same tools. Nothing's different. It's just a different way of using your same things. Yeah. Okay, go to the picture on the Crafter's Companion Facebook page of the Spectrum Noir markers. Share it and like it. Go to my page. I hope you like it if you haven't already, and you will be entered to win. My page is Tryon a Homemade Life, and I will post the supply lists of all the things that I used tonight in case anyone else has any other questions about what they are and they didn't get answered live. And if you have any questions throughout the week, shoot me a message and I'll be happy to get back to you. Thanks for tuning in tonight, everybody. We'll see you next week at 8 p.m. Eastern. Bye.
Bye, everyone.